real quick. So I believe Attorneys on Retainer program is going to be the best that you could get for anything that you do when it comes to self-defense in any state. And here's why. They're going to represent you through what's called pro hoc vice in any state, and you're still going to get legal counsel within your state. Okay, so this is how they do it. Let's say a self-defense situation arises. You're a member of Attorneys on Retainer. You have to use self-defense. You call Attorneys on Retainer. Hey, I had to use self-defense. And then they call a lawyer in the state which you had to do the self-defense situation. And then now that lawyer is going to represent you along with the expertise from Attorneys on Retainer. Now, they're obviously putting their law firm up for risk, right? So the risk associated with this, I think, warrants looking at the program at the very least. So let's watch a couple of things real quick. They just had a self-defense situation happen in New York, and they were able to get this gentleman, I think it was dismissed, and this is New York. So, I mean, that kind of success story is ridiculous. So check this out real quick.
Murder to a misdemeanor. AOR defends a client in New York. How did we achieve this result? We got the full case breakdown coming at you. Stay tuned. This is attorney Andy Marcantel and attorney Mark J. Victor. We're the partners of the Attorneys for Freedom Law Firm, here today to talk about another success story with our AOR client. How you doing today, Mark?
Dude, I'm awesome. I say this so many times, like these are our favorite kind of videos, but these ones here, I think really are our favorite kind of videos because it's not often, as you know, we get to talk about clients' cases, but every once in a while, a client says, hell yeah, man, put it out there. I'm happy to tell my story. Who's this guy I'm sitting next to over here?
Yeah, our viewers will notice that there's a third attorney sitting here at the table. I'd like to introduce our viewers to Joe Calderera. He is our local counsel in New York in our AOR network of attorneys, and we have him in the program because he is so awesome at what he does. How you doing today?
Okay, like I said before in the intro, they're going to have an attorney in your state that's going to represent you, okay? That will likely be your primary attorney. And that attorney can then get reach back from Attorneys on Retainer that's based out of Arizona, right? So you're going to have a lot of legal counsel immediately, and then you have attorney-client privilege immediately. So you can literally not only invoke your right to remain silent, but also to invoke your right to counsel. And that is very important, right? There's two different distinctions there. So let's continue watching.
Joe.
I'm doing well, Andy. Thank you for your kind words. Thanks for having me, Mark. Andy, a beautiful state out here in Arizona. Happy to be here and happy to discuss the outstanding results we were able to achieve together for our client.
Welcome to Arizona, man. Yeah, you got to see the Grand Canyon yesterday.
It was spectacular.
You're not in New York anymore.
Not in New York. We're not in Kansas anymore. You know, I actually had an Italian dinner last night here in Arizona. The food was delicious.
Really?
I was pleasantly surprised. The Sicilian Butcher, it was called. You ever hear of it?
Yes, yeah, that place is pretty good, yeah.
It's right next to the hotel you put me up in. I was wondering if you did that because you knew it was so close, or...
Look at that. A New Yorker comes out to Arizona and comes on record saying we got some good Italian food.
I'm
here.
shocked. I
That's
can't
amazing.
imagine I could get good Mexican food in New York. I don't know. Maybe.
Men's a men's.
Yes, so as you mentioned, Mark, these videos are pretty rare for us. And the reason is because we respect attorney-client privilege. And attorney-client privilege is really important. We've talked about it in many videos. Joe knows how important that is. A lot of times, understandably, clients don't want their case talked about in a public forum. But every now and then, we have a client who is willing to share their story with the world. And maybe they just want their story to get out there. There's an important lesson that they want out there. And we have such a case today.
Yeah, and to be fair, sometimes we have clients who want to talk about their case and we're like, probably better that we don't talk about your case. Maybe they're still finishing up on probation or something like that. And, you know, as I say all the time, we're lawyers first, right? Our first obligation above everything else is to our client. And that's what real lawyers do.
Okay, so you heard it right there, right? You get the attorney-client privilege right off the bat. It's pretty substantial. That's a benefit, I believe, right off the bat. Whereas if you call, let's say, another company, you know which companies they are. They, some of them start with a U and end with an A, and others start with a U and end with a shield. Let's just call them. Here's the thing, right? When you call their call centers, you don't get that attorney-client privilege right off the bat because you're calling potentially somebody like me. I'm not a lawyer, right? So there's that. So here we go. Let's continue.
That's our attitude here. As people know, we've been a law firm since 1997. That's always been our attitude. We're not about to change that now. But when the clients want to come on and they want to talk about their story and we don't see any downside for them to come on and they got some things to say and a few gripes out there that are legitimate gripes, yeah, man, let's let people know what happened here.
Yeah, I think so. So on that note, let's introduce that client. Appearing via Zoom is Joseph. How you doing, Joseph?
How's it going, guys? Good morning.
Great to have you on.
So here you have a guy in New York, okay, being represented by 3 different lawyers. It seems at least 2 different law firms, one in New York, one in Arizona, right? The Arizona law firm is representing them through the law firm in New York through the Pro Hoc Vice, like I said, and they were successful at basically getting this thing dismissed for this gentleman. So I'm going to do a live feed of this later on, so you guys stay tuned for that. I just want to kind of give you the cliff notes of this, right? So basically, this guy, he has to use self-defense. He's in a bad neighborhood. There's some video, right? And then he leaves the area, okay? He leaves the area because it was unsafe, and the other people were probably going to shoot at him, so he was leaving the area. He wasn't trying to flee a crime scene or anything like that. Long story short, I think that the case was dismissed. So let's watch this later. You guys check us out later. Also, like, subscribe, share, or you can even hit the link below. Go to the Attorneys on Retainer program, check it out, and if you decide to sign up, use my promo code, please. Use my promo code. That helps me out, that helps Attorneys on Retainer out, and it helps you out. So I'll see you later. Back out.